everybody. Welcome back to this very special bonus episode of From the Suggestion Box, navigating feedback, the good, the bad, and the say what. And today, my special guests are our past 2022 Impact Award winners. And so with the nominations being open, I just always like to talk to people who have won the award so that people know just how much it can change your life. And the whole point of this podcast is hopefully by the time you finish watching, that you nominate somebody to win. So my special guests today are Angela Williamson and Susan Sanow. How are you doing, ladies?
Great.
Doing great.
Wonderful. So Susan, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you are impacting our profession?
Thanks. I'm always shocked that I'm impacting a profession. I didn't know I was going to be doing that, but I have been with Volunteer Fairfax for 12 years. In fact, July marked my 12-year mark. Before that, I'd worked in nonprofit management. I had spent a career working with improving nonprofits, and then felt going to a particular lane in the nonprofit world, meaning volunteer management, would be an interesting opportunity. Long story very short is that I was supposed to work about 6 months on this project. I was a board member for Volunteer Fairfax in Fairfax, Virginia. That was 12 years ago, where I eventually was hired and never went back to the board again.
Amazing.
So it was an unexpected step in a direction I did not know I was going to be going in, but here I am. And became a CVA in 2020. Wanted to show something for the pandemic. I kept thinking, I want an outcome. I want something to say I used my time well, but it really has been quite the launching pad.
And Angela, how about you?
Hi, so Angela Williamson. I am at the Blood Bank of Delmarva. And for anybody that doesn't know yet, Delmarva stands for Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. Delmarva. There you go. Little trivia question. All right. So I have been with the Blood Bank for just almost 5 years. And before that, I was at a couple other different museums. So I've been part of Alive, part of the Delaware Association of Volunteer Administrator leadership team. So a variety of different roles, doing a variety of different things. And so it's been a lot of fun. And so that's what I'm doing and have been doing, I guess. And during the pandemic, it was, for some folks, life halted quickly and went to a screeching, I don't know what's going on. For other of us, like Susan, it got busier. For me in the healthcare, it also went kind of crazy. So it was kind of crazy. So with all of that, it was a lot of work. And I feel like also, Susan, I wanted to make life count, right? Didn't we all we were all trying to figure it out, no matter what direction your life was going, whether it was busier or less busy, or pivoting completely, whatever it was, like we were all trying to figure it out. Some days I think we still are, but yeah, so that's where I'm at. So it's been a lot of fun. I've been part of the Alive mentoring, which I highly recommend. Part of the Alive boot camp, which I also was participant of the inaugural group, which awesome group, Paula Allen leading, spearheading that, and just the team that was working on that. Highly recommend that as well. So it's just some amazing resources out there that, again, like Susan said, taking advantage of and trying to continue to improve and move forward.
Wonderful. And what I love is that both of you all have such very different backgrounds. And that is one of the things that, number one, I love about our profession in general. But then also why I love this award, because it really highlights the different industries and backgrounds and all the different ways, right, that we are really trying to impact the lives of our volunteers. And there's a common thread. It doesn't matter if you're in if you're working in the hospitals, if you're working in museums, if you're working in social service. Some of the basics of volunteer engagement are the basics of volunteer engagement no matter where you go, right? And with so many people from different backgrounds winning this award, it absolutely just proves that and reinforces that. And that's what I love about it. Angela, you actually already did it, but I also wanted to give a shout out to the other winners from 2022 who are not able to join us today. And so that would be Carol, Jared, Jovita, Monica, and Paula. You actually mentioned Paula, who did the boot camp. So I also want to give them some just congratulations to them as well. So let's just dive right in. Okay, ladies, inquiring minds want to know, right? First of all, how did you feel when you found out you were nominated? So Angela, let's go with you first. How did you feel when you even found out you were nominated?
Well, it's interesting because I nominated the year before. I nominated somebody else, Carrie Hart, and she was chosen as one of the winners, which was just made my heart happy. And then somebody challenged me to nominate myself. And so then I was like, well, I guess I'll go ahead and try it because it was really hard. It was really challenging. I couldn't do it that first year because I was like, I'm nominating Carrie. I'm not nominating myself. Like, are you kidding me? You know, so, and I just, it felt weird. So if you were thinking about it and you're thinking, oh, that's just like, oh, it doesn't feel right or something, please nominate yourself. Because, and so with that, I did, well, go back to your question, then I'll go back to that. So your question, how did I feel about it? I was so excited. Like I was surprised and excited and like, really? Like somebody else thinks that I'm doing a great job? Like, wow, this is great. What a boost of confidence. And so with that too, what I want to encourage is even if you don't think anybody else is going to nominate you for whatever reason, first slip them the nomination and say, hey, can you nominate me? What the heck? Why not? Right? So then, but with that, it can feel a little awkward and a little weird, right? Karina has done some wonderful presentations on promoting yourself. So go back and watch hers and webinars and whatever. I know she's done some great things. And so with all of that and just where I was, COVID, blah, 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 all that stuff, I was like, I'm just going to try it, right? Let's do it. Because I want to show, even if I don't get a win, I don't care. It's going to show my organization that I've been nominated. So I felt like it was worth the quote risk, but there's no risk. What's the risk? So think about that too. There's really no risk in nominating yourself. So nominate yourself. And nominate somebody else by all means. And don't feel bad about nominating yourself and somebody else, and just throw everybody in the ring and let's just support everybody, because it's only going to help each other and the profession move forward.
Right. Because we all know there are a lot of us doing a lot of great work, but because by nature, most of us don't really like attention and we're like, I'm not going to say anything or whatever. But the challenge with that is then sometimes if you don't speak up for yourself, who is going to? Because some of us have supervisors that aren't going to do it. They don't think it's worth it. They feel like, oh, it's not a big deal. They're not aware of it, or they think they might get around to it and they get busy. And there are so many books and talks and everything where it talks about you have to make sure that somebody else knows what you're doing so that somebody can speak on your behalf when you're not in the room. But if people don't know what you're doing, they can't do that for you. Mm-hmm. And yes, sometimes it can be challenging, but and I feel like a lot of times it's because people feel it's like that small line between being like confident and arrogant and look at me. But think of it like Angela said, it's a way for us to build a profession and letting people know what you are doing, because it is just exposing that. And who knows the type of connections you can come out of that? Who knows all sorts of things that can come out of it? So at the best case scenario is you win. The worst case scenario is that people now know what you are doing and you are able to network with other people. I mean, it just there's really, like Angela said, there's no risk, there's no loss to this, like at all. And it was just funny because Angela was talking about the Alive mentor program. That's how we met. That's how we met. And so you never know where you're going to find inspiration, where you're going to find somebody who you want to nominate. And again, take it as a challenge. Like, how do you feel about yourself? I feel like it's just another way to really let others in the profession know what we are doing, because the connections that come out of that are priceless. Priceless. Yep. Angela, were you going to say something else?
Also with that, LinkedIn, if you scroll through LinkedIn, right, folks will say, oh, congratulations, I just received, or I just earned the whatever award, or the whatever certificate, or the whatever. So you can say, I've been nominated for this award. Again, it's going to be only good for you and only good for our profession. It shows, and thank you to the sponsors for this award and this whole process, because that's how this is happening. So thank you to everybody that's supporting this whole process, and the monetary gifts. All of that comes together and is only going to make things better.
Indeed. Okay, Susan, how about you?
Woohoo. So the first thing I want to tell everybody is we know the profession, the being a volunteer manager, leading volunteers, is a very complex profession, complex world. And we can only tell the world is by showing it. So if people are leery to nominate themselves, think of it in terms of educating the community of all that goes into this. This just doesn't happen because it just happens to everybody. No, there are lots of different layers, and that's what we pride ourselves on. And and I can say this for Angela, we are continuous students. We're always looking to learn and be better at this. So to send that message that we are a true profession, this is part of it, is to give a spotlight. One of the things that I love most about this whole process is that it gave me a chance to stop and breathe and put down on paper all that I've done, or I thought I'd done, or I'm thinking of doing, or what that really meant. What was that perspective? How did I get here? You don't always see it when it's in the moment, but that application, it was like, let me see. And I started writing or typing some more. And then I'd leave, and then I'd come back and go, oh yeah, type some more. That's one of the things I thought it was a great time to inventory. And that's the step that I would encourage others to think about, looking at that application, whether or not you're going to promote, or whether or not you're going to nominate yourself, or even nominate somebody else. Take a look at that application and start answering the questions. And you can answer it, take a step back and say, whoa, I am ready. This is looking awesome. Or my favorite is, ooh, I'm still in trouble, not too strong in this area. You know what? I'm going to take 2024 as my professional development goal to complete a stronger application. That would be the best one. I'm ready now. The second best, I'm ready in a year. Or you might say, you know what? I think I might be ready for the emerging leader application right now. And in 4 years, I'm going for the exemplary award. It's a really great goal setting, professional development, goal setting activity.
Oh, I
You
love that.
you can tell the world that you've been nominated, or you
Mhm.
can tell no one. It's about you and your journey. Angela, you had mentioned Corinna Sadler, who is my mentor when it comes to this kind of
Mm,
work. We did a book club together called Brag Better. So if you can't watch
Mm.
her in a video, I suggest getting a copy of Brag Better, read that, and then go fill out the application, because you will be inspired to act, because they realize, you know what? You can only do this if somebody really knows what you've done. And it was an amazing journey. How I felt when I was nominated, I won. I was, because I was nominated. I'm never
right.
gonna win. I remember telling my family, oh my God, I just was nominated for this big national award. I'm never gonna win. But wow, you mean all these webinars that I've been doing and dreaming up and doing, wow, somebody noticed. I didn't
Mhm.
expect anybody to notice. So I won as soon as I was nominated. And then I had a trusted colleague look at it,
Mhm.
because I wanted to know, is there anything here? I wasn't sure. Was I explaining it right? Was I remembering the important points, or it's been, so long that I forgot what I had to do to get to there? Or does this resonate in the community? I'm always looking for those teachable moments, and have a fresh set of eyes look at that and going, oh yeah, that was awesome, or that wasn't, that sort of fell apart. So I would take that out. And so it's like having that other perspective really was wonderful. And nobody knew I was nominated. I just wasn't interested in sharing that. Changed when I won.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Well, and I love, oh man, I love, there was a lot that you said that was in there that was
Mhm.
so great. And one of the things is, one of the, as our profession continues to grow and get stronger, one of the things that we constantly need to build is credibility, right? And so thank goodness, with Faiza and all the work that she's doing, like the CVA is becoming more prominent, right? And people be like, what is CVA? And they're like, well, let me tell you about it, right? But the same when you have that on your resume of like national award in your profession, it also starts to validate who we are and what we do. And it takes away that whole, oh, managing volunteers, anybody can do it. I was a
Mhm.
volunteer, right? It
Right.
helps to continue to chip away at that thought. Okay. So which award did you win? Susan, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm going to answer for both of us. We are both exemplary leaders. So, and we
Amazing.
both won in 2022.
Yes. And so that was, I believe, if you were in the profession for, I think, what is it, like 8 or
8.
Yeah.
more
Oh,
years?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
that's great.
How about this one? Where were you when you found out that you won? Angela, we'll start with you.
I think I was in my office.
Okay.
Yes, I believe it was you that texted and said, "Hey, can I call you?" And ta-da, in my
You
office,
know what? That's right.
right?
I was calling people. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yes.
wait, when I was thinking about that question, and I was like, actually, I think it was Nicole. Nicole called me, and I was in my
Yeah, and
office.
I remember,
Yes,
and I was so excited because I was like, "Oh, I get to tell Angela, yeah, I get to tell her personally." And Susan, I think I called you too, right?
Oh, you called me. I was on another call, on another meeting. I was taking minutes. So it's
Oh,
not like I could, this looks
I
like
picked
it's
us
going to be
up. Yeah.
so much better. I looked at the number and said, don't know what that is, set it aside. So then I get the message, and you said, congratulations, you won. I'm about to get on an airplane, and hope we catch up.
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
that's
Because
it.
I literally had 15 minutes to make all the calls. And I was like, I gotta go. I'm hopping on a plane, but I just wanted to let you know. Yes.
Yep.
You kind of rendered me speechless, because it's like, Yeah, so we did eventually find each other before you got on the plane. And then I ran around the house going, I won, I won, I won, I won. So
That's so great. That's so great. And just so that people know, I really had nothing to do with it. I was on the committee that helped to organize everything. I had the opportunity and the privilege to be able to deliver the good news. So I didn't choose anybody. There was a whole committee, there was a whole process behind it. Like I was completely out of the judging of it all. So I just got to have the fun part. They had all the hard part and I got the fun part. So
you were just the messenger,
yay. I was
and
just
that
the
was awesome.
messenger. Okay. So do you feel like winning this award has impacted your career? And if so, how? Susan, we'll start with you.
Well, I teach a class. One of my classes is on the imposter syndrome and how you can be
Oh,
a volunteer manager
we might
dealing
just
with
need to have you come back for a whole nother session just
dealing with imposter
on
syndrome.
that. Yes.
So I'm not cured by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a huge leap forward for me, saying to myself, wow, this all clicked. This all is making a difference. And I think a lot about ripple effect in my work as a volunteer management educator. It was just the best to tell my colleagues, tell our board of directors that one of your staff people just won a national award.
Yes.
That just, we're Volunteer Fairfax. We work with nonprofits in our volunteer programs in Northern Virginia and, in our little corner of the world. And all of a sudden I was on a national stage.
Yes.
That just made a huge difference. Plus, we were in the midst of a leadership transition. So we were without a CEO and we would be hiring a CEO. And to have that kudo, that tip of the hat to me, like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is, it really doesn't get any better. So thank you for that.
Oh, that is so great. That is so great. Angela, I'm going to come to you in just a second. Just as, like I said, because the theme of this is really just to encourage people to nominate. And Susan, it was something you said a little bit earlier where you were like, I didn't even realize people noticed what I was doing.
Right.
So if you're the person who is always scrolling through LinkedIn and you're looking at stuff, and you may not even be that person that likes it or shares it or posts it, but you see it and maybe you click on the links and you're benefiting and getting that information, consider nominating that person who is speaking to you through LinkedIn. You're getting tips, you're getting tricks, small little things here and there, because that is so powerful. She's like, I didn't even know anybody noticed. We notice. That's part of the challenge, is that we never say anything. We are very good at consuming it, but I can't tell you how many times like I've attended webinars or have done anything like that, and people are always like, give us your feedback, or do you have any questions or anything? And it's just like crickets, right? Nobody responds out. But when you talk to somebody one-on-one, oh my goodness, I went to this webinar. Listen, I just did it the other day. I took all these notes. It was great. And now that I'm having this conversation with you, I'm like, I may have to go back on this person's LinkedIn and say thank you for that, because it was very powerful. And I took what you said and I actually implemented it right away into what I'm doing at work. And it made me look like I knew what I was doing. And it's because of your webinar. But we don't ever say that, right? We consume it and we take it, or we keep scrolling. But if somebody if there was a workshop that you went to, if there was a blog post that you read, if there was something that impacted you in any type of way, consider nominating that person. It does not take much. It takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I think you have to have their first name, their last name, their email address, their LinkedIn, which you can get right off of LinkedIn. I think the biggest thing is getting their phone number. Don't let it discourage you. If somebody has impacted you in any type of way, Don't miss this opportunity to show them some appreciation and let them know that you did notice, that you did notice. So Angela, so now I'm sorry, now I'm back off of my,
Okay.
because I didn't want to
Oh,
forget,
good.
but how do you feel like the award has helped your career?
Absolutely. So I think for me, it was a vote of confidence. Like I said, coming out of COVID, not knowing that I was doing all the right things, but not always feeling like it, not always feeling like, oh, is this enough? Am I doing the right stuff? I don't even know. I'm just trying to like trudge through. I'm just trying to do the best I can. And what a vote of confidence, for all the stuff that had been going on that I was trying to do, and working through and doing. And so for me, it was a big vote of confidence in myself. Um, of course, Susan too, it was really nice to be able to go, hey, HR, look at this. Hey, my manager, look at this, and be able to pass that along. And it just makes me remember, now that you say that, Susan, we have a new VP and I need to give her that award or at least show that to her. So anyway, can't hurt. And so I think that for me, it was almost a self-professional feather in the cap more than it gave me. It didn't give me a raise. It didn't give me a new title. It didn't give me whatever, but it's given me professional confidence, which was really, really important for me. And moving forward, like it's really helped this year to just, I've been trying to do a lot more evaluation of myself. I am not, and Susan, what to your point, I am not a good pause and look at what I've done person. I just keep on cruising, right? Like let's just go. There's a vision, go, go, go. And so this too, going to what you said, it helped me pause for a minute and go, oh, well, I really have been pretty darn busy. No wonder I'm kind of tired right now. Whew, so it's been, so in that regard, it was really positive for me, as an individual, but as a profession, in a professional way, if that makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense. And I'm glad that you said that, because that's another reason that I am highly in favor of somebody nominating themselves, is looking at it as professional development, right? Because there is a monetary, and that's what I love about this award. So thank you very much, Better Impact. It's not just the certificate that goes on the wall and you're like, hey, they actually also give you a monetary award towards professional development. So if there's something that you need, that you want to do, that maybe your job isn't able to cover or you aren't able to cover, there is a monetary award that comes with it. I know when I won mine, I think I bought my books to study for the CVA. That money came in handy for me that way. What professional development type stuff were you able to benefit from due to your win?
Yeah, so I've purchased a couple different books. The one that Beth Steinhorn and a group of folks did for the transformational volunteer world. Another one that you actually recommended, Nicole, about leadership. And then I realized that the year has flown by and I was like, oh, I haven't spent all my money yet. So this was a really good reminder that I'm kind of like looking around going, oh, what else do I want to get? And so is there a webinar or is there a subscription to something? Or,
yes.
So that's what I'm looking at is, I don't have a subscription to Engage. And I'm like,
oh,
I have not done that. I might have to do, right? So I'm looking now at like those options of something that'll be a nice long term, because it's not going to be enough to pay for an entire conference elsewhere. But it would help me certainly with an Engaged, kind of thing, along with these other items that I've gotten, other books and resources.
that's a really great reminder, because I did also use part of mine to get a subscription to a professional women's group that I was able to use
Great.
it with the subscription to that for a
Yeah,
year.
that'd be good too. Yeah, great.
How about you, Susan?
So I also had fun because I could dream big, and it took a long time. I kept going, maybe I can go to this conference, maybe I could get this certificate. Georgetown has some great programs, but that was not within my price range. So but thank you for the prize was huge, and I love it, and it was impactful in that I too was so moved by the book, Transforming Disruption to Impact. The way I like to learn, and a lot of the work I do in volunteer management education, is to offer book clubs, having book clubs for our community to read. I love the book. I love the Transforming book from the beginning. I thought it was way too expensive to offer it for an equitable, accessible book club. So I turned away from it when it first came out. And then I started thinking, but what if I buy? So that's what I did. I took care of buying books for my colleagues at work. I took care of many people in my CVA network. For our NVAVA meeting, we actually gave a copy away, and it's like, who wants a book? I couldn't just say who wants a book and people would grab them and run.
And you get a book,
right,
and
right.
you get a book, and you get a book.
It was an Oprah moment, but I bought, I think it was around 20 copies of the book for different people.
Susan,
That's awesome.
And that is why I love our profession. Right there.
Right. So,
and this is why you got an award.
That's, what it's like, I want to have a party, but I'm going to throw it myself, but people get to come to it and I'll take care of. So it was really lovely. I mean, I saw people I know signing up for the book club, and I'll, quick shoot them an email. Have you gotten the book yet? Here, let me take care of it for you. Oh, no, you don't have to. No, I want to do this because I have a lot of money to spend. So I bought myself a book club.
Oh,
cool.
I love it.
And I had 44 people register, which is pretty good. And about 25 or 30, I can't remember the right number, but 25 to 30 attended. And it was like, yeah, this is what I expect from my community, and for our pretty typical for a book club. So it was good discussion, and both Jerome Tennille and Beth Steinhorn both attended the book club, so they could be part of the discussion.
Amazing. I just, from somebody who is in the profession to another person in the profession, thank you so much for doing that and sharing that, because that is, I love it. Like you were given a gift, and you took that gift as an opportunity to gift others, and that is just beautiful.
It's all about the ripple.
Yes, the ripple effect, just like you were talking about earlier.
All about the ripple. Yeah.
Is there anything else? I mean, this is from the suggestion box, so are there any suggestions that you would like to leave for the listening audience?
Nominate somebody. Nominate yourself. Nominate somebody else. And if you don't know somebody well enough to nominate them, go to Susan's advice. Use this next year to meet people and get involved and join your local AVA, join Alive, be involved in something that they're offering, whether that's a group, a COP, leading something. There's so many things. Alive is growing by leaps and bounds, and it is amazing. And so I highly, highly encourage everybody to somehow get involved with Alive in some way, shape, or form. Not just a membership, and to your point, Nicole, not just a consumer. There are lots of different ways to be involved that don't necessarily take up your whole life, right? So there's a lot, and we know this is what we do all day long for volunteers, is if we can find enough volunteers that can spend the time that they have to spend on it, that multiplies, and that all adds up to a huge impact. So if we can get rid of the 80-20 rule, that where 20% of the people do 80% of the time, work, let's do 80% of the people are doing everything. Like, let's get 80% like people doing stuff. I think that would be incredible for our profession. And if we all did that, we wouldn't have to do a lot for each one of us.
I love it. Well said. Well said. Susan?
So yesterday morning, I spent about an hour sending out emails to people saying, basically what my point of view says, this is my nomination. I don't know everything about you. I just think you're awesome. And I sent it to a bunch of people going, you need to nominate yourself. Because to one person, and I actually said to them, I can't believe, and I'm embarrassed to say, that I won this award before you. You are one of the people I admire most in the profession. You have changed my world. You have put words in my mouth with better meaning, deeper meaning, a reason to move forward in the profession. And how have you not won? It's probably because they haven't been nominated. So I'm trying to bop them over the head, which is my marketing technique, and say, you need to nominate yourself. This, you have something going on here at your organization that just wows me. Please nominate yourself. If you need any help with the application, let me know. Use my name as the nominator. I'll fill in the hard parts of the application, but you explain what you do, and you got the magic.
Yeah.
And please share the magic with the profession.
I think the last day for nominations and everything to be in is August 15th.
Yes.
So you have until then to get 2 nominations in, one for yourself and somebody else. It can't hurt to nominate. I mean, it cannot hurt to uplift somebody else and at least just let the profession know, hey, I think this person is doing a really great job. What can that hurt? It can't hurt anything. It can't hurt anything. Okay, well, there you all had it. You've heard it here from our 2022 Exemplary Award winners who have already gotten their nominations in for the year. I've gotten my nominations in for the year. So the question is, who are you going to nominate?
Can I jump in, Nicole?
Yeah.
I want to thank Nicole for doing this, supporting this effort as well on these podcasts, along with the entire committee, the entire team, Better Impact for supporting this. Thank you to everybody that's involved.
I want to say what she said. Thank you.
Love it. Love it. And it is a lot of work. I was on the committee last year, and it is a commitment. They are doing a lot. They are, working behind the scenes to get everything in, to make sure the nominations are okay, to make sure that the judging is equitable. Every year they improve it each year for it to be more and more equitable.
Something that I very much appreciate about the group that was chosen was that it was very diverse, and it's getting more diverse. Our profession is getting more diverse in so many ways, and it's not just my paleness versus a darker complexion. It's not just that. It is going to be ages and genders and the professions and where you come from and where you're working and what part of the country you're in. I mean, there's so much that goes into how different we all are, visibly or not visibly. And I think it's just so important to know and to support each other and to seek out those that are in different places, whether that's, again, they're starting in our profession, or they've been there for 20 years, or they're in a different state. With webinars and all this online connections that we have, LinkedIn Oh my goodness, reach out. This is not my idea. I got this from a webinar somewhere, but they said once a month, or pick your preference, reach out to somebody on LinkedIn and just say, hey, do you want to chat sometime? I've met some wonderful people that way. So find people that you don't know.
Yeah.
And that are in the profession that you've maybe just peripherally seen them somewhere. Get to know them. And again, to Susan's point of like, maybe this is the year that you either nominate somebody that you're like more peripheral with, or you get to know them. And then you'll really be able to nominate more in a, I guess, educated way and personal way. So I just really encourage everybody to really think about that and to reach out.
And I really like what you said in terms of it being so diverse. And I know that, like I said, I was on the committee last year, so we really, really were fighting for it to be as equitable as possible. The other thing, like I like to tell people, is it's kind of like playing the lottery. You can't win if you don't play. So let's nominate people. And you typically nominate people that you know. But also, like we said, like if there's somebody who's just impacting you in such a way, the more diverse we are as a group are nominating diverse other people, then the awards are going to continue to be diverse. And that is what we want, because we talk about it all the time. Diversity of thought is so powerful in what we do, in our profession is just flooded with people who have brought so many different backgrounds, who have come from marketing, who have come from event planning, who have come from teaching, who have come from so many different backgrounds. And it's what makes our profession so strong, is because we have the benefit of all of these different perspectives that come into this. So nominate somebody.
So can I just, I'm holding this up to let you know, as we're talking, I just, got notified I got a email. It's from somebody I reached out to yesterday, and I said, please, consider being, I'd like to nominate you. Here's the application. I can't fill it out. Hi, Susan. First and foremost, thank you for this note and thinking so highly of me. That brings a smile to my face. I often think about who I've touched in the field, who values my presence in the profession. So to get this email means a lot to me. Boom.
There you have it.
Just the nomination does it. Just the nomination. Not it's just, real. But like just the nomination. I mean, yep. The nomination alone just impacted somebody.
Yep.
Live here on From the Suggestion Box.
If anybody's looking for ideas and suggestions on somebody to connect with, go to Nicole's podcast and check out all of the people that she's been interviewing. That's a great place to start.
100%. And reach out to every one of them. Every one of them, we're like, reach out to us. Let them know how what they presented impacted you. Reach out to them on LinkedIn. They would love to hear from you about how what they shared really touched you. They would love to hear it.
Along with scrolling through LinkedIn, look at all the CVAs. Go to those groups. Go to the volunteer groups, the healthcare group, whatever. That's where you're going to find people to nominate.
What a perfect way to end. So I want to thank you all again so much for joining us for this bonus episode of From the Suggestion Box, navigating feedback, the good, the bad, and the say what. If you enjoyed this, I'm going to ask you to please like, share, subscribe, share it with others who you think can benefit from it, and make sure you nominate yourself or nominate somebody else or do both. It's all going to help the profession. And so with that being said, I just want to say thank you so much for listening in, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.